Monday, 1st of June. We've got a bit of lower body strengthening before we get into an all-out effort workout. So, primer sets, we've got 3 sets of 6 and 6 single leg Romanian deadlifts with 1 dumbbell or kettlebell. Straight into 3 broad jumps for distance, going as far as you can, super explosive. Once you've done that, you're going to rest for a minute. Repeat that 3 times. Then we've got our working sets. We've got 5 sets of 8 goblet squats with a tempo, 4010. So we're going to go down for 4 seconds, no rest in the bottom. As soon as we get to the bottom, it's straight out, 1 second back up. No rest at the top or the bottom for 8 reps. Holding that weight in that goblet position in front of us. Then we go straight into 12 reverse lunges. And in between those sets, we're going to rest for 90 seconds. This is great for muscle building. So the tempo, because we can't vary the weights at the moment at home, we're varying the tempo. So we're increasing the time under tension for that muscle, encouraging it to grow, even though we don't have massive weights. Finally, our effort, our workout for the day, we've got 5 rounds for time of 30 pike compressions, 20 push-ups, 10 burpees, simples. So to get you nice and warm to begin with, just on a 2-minute running clock, I just want you to jog on the spot for the first 30 seconds. Then the next 30 seconds, we're just gonna go for max air squats. Don't have to push it too much at this point, just feel into it, get as low as you can, try and work lower and lower as we get into it. Next 30 seconds, we're gonna skip. And what I want with that, you don't even need lots of space. We just want to skip, so we want to be jumping on that one leg. So use those arms, skip on that one leg, driving that knee up. So you can skip on the spot, just driving that leg up, essentially jumping on one leg as much as we can for 30 seconds. And then we're going to finish off with 30 seconds of down ups. So just allowing that chest to come all the way to the floor, fling those hips up, stand back up. So that should get our heart rate up just for a couple of minutes to begin with, get that blood flowing. Then we're going to go for the classic warrior single leg warm up. So if you want to challenge yourself a bit more, if you've got a something to stand on, so a plate or a book or whatever to raise that other foot, you can do. Or if you just want to be single leg on the floor, that's absolutely fine. But we're going to balance on one foot. We're going to get our balance first of all, and then we're going to tap our other foot out in front of us. And what we're aiming for with this is that our foot is coming as far forward as we can get it. And what that's doing is that's pushing our knee on our planted foot right over our toes. So we're getting a bit of stretch in that ankle, getting that knee, getting all these muscles in this leg activated. We're going to tap 5 times nice and controlled in front, 5 times out to the side, again reaching as far as we can, keeping that weight on that planted leg, 5 times behind, and again reaching as far as we can. Staying on that leg, once you've done 5, 5, 5, we're going to go for 5 reverse lunges from here. So bringing that leg back, knee touches the floor, drive up on that one leg. Okay, 5 reverse lunges. That leg, that foot should be burning once we've done that. And then we're going to repeat on the other leg. Once we've done that, we're going to go into a bit of hip opening stuff for our squats and whatnot. So we're going to do what essentially looks like a male dog peeing on a fire hydrant. So we're going to get into a tabletop position. And then without sort of rotating through our core as much as possible, so keeping nice and square, engaging that core, we want to isolate this leg. So we're going to lift up using just that hip and that glute. And we're going to circle this hip round 4 times one way, nice and controlled, 4 times the other way, as much as you can, getting as much range of motion as you can. Feeling all these muscles in our bum and our hips switching on in order to activate that. And again, same with the other leg, raising that leg up, squeeze that glute, rotating 4 times one way, 4 times the other way. Once we've done that, we're then going to go for a bit of deer. So deer position, we start with our feet out in front. We allow our knees to drop to one side, so we're getting internal rotation and external rotation in each of these legs. Sorry, in opposite legs. We're then going to stretch over the externally rotated hip. Just allow your body weight to come forwards just for a couple of seconds. Then we're going to lean back, facing this internally rotated leg, so stretching into that internal rotation just for a couple of seconds. Now we're going to challenge ourselves here, so trying to stay nice and upright. In this position, we're just trying to drive this knee down into the floor and lift this foot. Sounds easy, it's actually really hard, while trying to keep your sit bones on the floor as much as possible. So try not to lean too far into it. Nice and controlled, just lift that foot up. You should feel deep burn in that glute. And what this is doing is essentially activating all sorts of funny little muscles that we don't normally use. It's pretty horrible. So you might cramp up. What we want to try and do is just hold this for a couple seconds and rest. Just go for 5 reps. Hold it and rest. Just lifting that foot like an inch off the floor and rest. Then we're going to swap round, do the same on the other side. So stretch into that externally rotated leg, look towards the internally rotated, lean back, and then 5 reps of trying to lift that foot off the floor. And you may find that one side is very different to the other. I know mine certainly are. And that can highlight sort of weaknesses, imbalances in single leg stuff, which is super interesting as well. So that should get us fairly ready for the squatting and things that we're going to be doing. And then we're just going to do a little bit of core activation. So again, from that tabletop position, we're going to go for a bit of primal movement, if you like, here. So from here, we're going to tuck our toes underneath, as you can see there. And then what we're aiming to do is to sort of stay in this position, but just lift our knees off the floor a couple of inches. This requires a lot of core stability. And just hold this statically for sort of 30 seconds or so. Have a little rest. From there, we can start to challenge it. So next time we raise up, just lifting any of our limbs one at a time from this position, and have a little rest, and then go again. Okay, once we've done all that, we should be able to get into it. So our 3 sets to begin with, we've got 6 and 6 single leg Romanian deadlifts. So holding our weight, one weight in one hand. I would suggest holding it in your right hand and planting your left foot to begin with. So a Romanian deadlift, we're keeping that leg as straight as possible, only going as low as we can go without losing that nice straight back and without bending the knee, okay? So it's as far as you can go. You'll feel that pull in the hamstring before you stand back up. So keep all of that weight in that foot as we lower down. Keep that flat back. Squeeze your bum to drive back up. 6 reps on each leg, so swap hands as you swap legs. Once you've done that, you're going to go into 3 broad jumps. So jumping, squat down nice and low, use those arms, explosive, jump as far as you can. If you're limited within the room or whatever you've got, obviously just use the space that you've got, being careful there. If you can take it outside, make the most of the weather. Rest a minute, repeat 3 times. Then our next bit, we've got 5 sets of our 8 goblet squats with a tempo. So from here, holding in that goblet position, get our squat stance, make sure those knees are pushing out over our toes. We're going to send our bum back and down for 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. As soon as we hit that bottom position, we drive out. So there's no holding in the bottom of that squat. 4, 3, 2, 1, up. That's our tempo. We're going to do that for 8 reps into 12 reverse lunges. If you want the extra gains, keep hold of that weight in that goblet position. Reverse lunges, meaning that leg comes behind, knee all the way to the floor, drive up through that front leg. 12, so 6 and 6. You can alternate legs if you like. You rest for 90 seconds, team, in between those sets. And then our last little bit, our workout, 5 rounds for time of 30 pike compressions, 20 push-ups, 10 burpees. Our pike compression, if we sit on the floor, legs straight out in front, this could be quite a thigh cramp situation. So we place our hands as far as you can forwards. It's going to be more challenging the further you place your hands away from your center. Just using those fingertips to drive into the floor, sit up nice and straight, and then we're trying to close that gap between our belly and our thighs. So compressing there in that pike position. It's not about flinging yourself around, it's about being nice and controlled. And again, try not to lean sort of into it too much. We're super controlled, really squeezing those abs. It's more about that compression. It's a smallish movement that's really quite painful. Okay, so 30 reps of that. Then we've got 20 reps of push-ups, standard push-ups from that plank position, making sure our shoulders stay over our wrists, our elbows stay stacked over our wrists, chest to floor, press up nice and strong. If you need to drop down to knees, make sure that we keep that strong plank position and our weight still in our knuckles so that our body position looks the same as if we were up on our toes. Finally, finishing with 10 burpees. So stand yourself up. Then we need to get chest all the way to the floor. Fling those hips up, jump, clap, full extension. 10 reps. So that'll get that heart rate going before you go back into those pike compressions again. All right, guys? So enjoy.